Days Arcade here with a quick tip. This time I'm talking about wedge bulbs. I had requests for troubleshooting this, so I figured I'd shoot a video of it. So this one is Doctor Who here. You can see this grid. I got one bulb out here. I've recently LED'd this, and it has a lot of the wedge style sockets that are the ones in question. So I'm going to lift up this play field here and show you this up. Tilt it all the way back. You can see this one in particular is blocked by a subway, so I'm going to have to remove that real quick, and then I can get at the bulbs. Okay, now that I have the subway removed, a lot of the System 11 and up games use these twist style sockets that are attached to a circuit board, and the bulb in question is the very far right in the top. This one here is twisted counterclockwise to get it out of the circuit board. So the anatomy of this socket is it has a couple of tabs for your positive and negative on the sides of it. And so one thing I always check for is these tabs tend to lose contact with there's a trace on either side of the circuit board that those are touching. So you want to grab a hold of those and kind of bend them up as much as they go. They'll want to spring back, but just give them a squeeze so those will have the best contact they can. And then the next thing you want to look at is the inside the socket itself. So the next thing I do is I look inside the socket, and you can see fingers that wipe. So the bulb actually has these they're actually leads to a resistor. So if you were to crack this thing open, you'd see that these are leads, and they just kind of bend around the bulb. But anyway, so for good measure, for good contact, these wipers need to contact those leads of the bulb. So I just take a dental tool or some kind of poking tool, and just you want to bend those inward so they're touching, and give the bulb the most contact it can get. So just push those in towards the center, and that should be perfect. So set that off to the side. Your socket is pretty well prepped for the best contact it can get. If you wanted to, if these as I said, these are contacts here. Sometimes if I've seen tarnish on these leads, I might take a magic brush or something and clean those off. But set that off to the side. And so next thing you want to look at is the bulb itself. And first you want to find out is the bulb burnt out or not. So what you can do is grab a hold of one of these leads and bend it off to the side like that, and then take a 9-volt battery, and you want to touch the leads so you can see that it's working. So that's going to just answer question of does the bulb work or not, yes or no, and this is how you can test it out of there. So we can eliminate that as a cause. Obviously if it's burnt out, then you want to get a new bulb. The next thing I'll do is, a lot of times these LED bulbs, they're not quite the same as incandescent. The wedge portion of it might be wider or thinner, and so that could affect how well it contacts the wipers on the inside of this socket. So one thing I like to do with troublesome bulbs is I'll kind of unwrap that lead, the leg of that resistor, and just kind of wrap it more loosely around the bulb base so it's not so tightly packed, because once it goes into the socket, those wipers are pushing against that and it kind of compresses against the base of the bulb. So you're kind of like refreshing this thing. So you just kind of open it up and then wrap it back around so it's looser than it was. Now you can take it and push it back in to the wedge. It should be a snug fit. Now go ahead and reinsert it into your circuit board and check the front side and verify that it's working, and it is. So that's basically it. If it's still not lighting, the next thing to take a look is see if you got power going to that. And as you said, there's a positive and negative side of the bulb. So you should be able to take your probes of your multimeter and measure the power on touch one to each, and it should, I suspect that this is going to be DC voltage. I'm not 100%. I believe it will be. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to show it is AC voltage, so it would be the V with the squiggly line to measure that, and you want to set it, it's going to be a low voltage, like 5 volts or so. So this is on the 200 setting here, so you can measure that. The power by touching these leads here. Should go one way. Here we go. I have about 5 volts. The lights are blinking, that's why the numbers are moving around. So it does have power. So that's that verification. One other thing I wanted to cover was on some cheaper LED bulbs. They can be polarized, and so even though you've done the things I said to give you good connection, and you verify that your bulb is working, but you twist it in there and it's still not lighting, it could be polarity. And so one thing that you could do to get your light bulb to work is you just take it back out, spin it around so now the fingers are flip-flopped, reinsert, and then go ahead and plug it back in and see if you got it to light. If not, then you'll need to take a look, or maybe even replace the bulb with one that works. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. So verify that you got power there. If you don't, then you're going to have to follow the power back. And so the next obvious place to check is going to be your connectors. And so what I like to do on these boards, if I suspect that it's a connection problem, I would unplug this board, and you can reflow solder on these pins. If that doesn't get it, then you need to go consult your manual and go back up to the board where this is connected and take a closer look at the power that's coming to this board. But if it's just one bulb that's in question, you have power going to it, so it's likely that it's going to be a socket. If you're not getting power to the entire board, it's probably going to be a connector. So, alright, hopefully that helps, and we'll catch you next time.